This is Modular Digital Learning Presentation in Practical Research 1 by Almira F. Caranto. A wonderful day, my dear students. Welcome to Practical Research 1 class. This is teacher Almira, and I'm looking forward to learning with you. Let's have fun as we learn new things today. So, are you ready? So, Practical Research 1 is a subject that will help develop your critical as well as problem-solving skills through qualitative research. And so for our first topic, we'll be dealing with the nature of inquiry and research. And for this topic, we'll be looking at lesson number 1, which is all about the importance of research in our daily life. But before we move on with our lesson for today, class, let us have this first activity. It's called May I Inquire? And for this one, I'd like you to ask some help from your family members by asking them the following questions. Number 1, where did COVID-19 originate? Number 2, what thoughts do they have about the current pandemic of COVID-19? And lastly, to date, how many people worldwide are already infected with the virus? For this particular activity, I'm giving you about 2 to 3 minutes to ask these questions, and good luck. Alright class, your time's up. Let us now discuss the answers to the questions in our first activity. And so let's start with question number 1. Where did COVID-19 originate? Oh, great. So if you've asked these questions from your parents or your younger siblings, they told you that COVID-19 was first reported in Wuhan, China in December of 2019. Okay, what about the second question? The second question is that what thoughts do they have about the current pandemic of COVID-19? And so, what did they tell you? Oh, that's marvelous. So if they tell you that COVID-19 is an infectious, contagious, and deadly disease, then they are absolutely correct. And what else? Oh, yes, the economy is badly affected as well. Why? Because so many people lost their jobs, and some businesses are closed as well. Okay, class, what about the last question? And what was the last question again? Okay, today, how many people worldwide are already infected with the virus? Okay, take note, class. It's not only about local data that we are talking about in here. It's not only in Basista or in the Philippines, but it's all over the world. And so, what answers did you get? Okay, very good. About 19 million people worldwide are already infected with the virus. And not only that, it also killed like 716,000 lives already. According to WHO or the World Health Organization, and the statistics was taken as of 3:22 p.m. that is Central Eastern or Central European summertime in August 8, 2020, there are about 19,167,000 or 19,187,943 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and with 716,075 deaths that has been reported to the WHO. So that's how serious the problem that we are experiencing right now. And so, class, let us now proceed with our lesson for today. Our lesson for today is all about the importance of research in our daily life. And for this one, we'll have the following learning objectives. Number one is that you are going to share your research experiences and knowledge. And number two, you have to explain the importance of research in your daily life. Now let's talk about the characteristics of classrooms where teachers emphasize inquiry-based learning. And this is according to Drayton and Falk, 2001. And it said that inquiry is in the form of authentic, real-life problems within the context of the curriculum and the community. Okay, what does he mean by that? When we said that inquiry is in the form of authentic or real-life problems, we must believe that research, or one of the objectives of research, is to provide solutions, right, to the everyday problems that we are experiencing right now. And as regard to this, by the first activity that we have done earlier, okay, with regards to COVID-19, so in our own little way, we are already providing solutions. By what manner? We are actually being obedient to the authorities by not going outside if it is not necessary. What else? Observing minimum health protocols of wearing masks, of constantly or frequently washing our hands, and avoiding crowded places, and maintaining social distancing, and so on. Another characteristic of inquiry-based learning is that it capitalizes on student curiosity. Okay, with regards to curiosity, are you being curious about what is going on around you? If your answer to that question is yes, then you are already demonstrating the one of the characteristics of inquiry-based learning. Okay, so the moment you become curious about everything and anything that is going on around you, what are the problems, why is this happening to us right now, then you are already doing or demonstrating that particular characteristic. Another characteristic of inquiry-based learning is that data and information are actively used, interpreted, refined, digested, and discussed. And when having said this, our government needs the data, like how many active cases of COVID-19 and things like that. They are used for decision making. Okay, and for them to be able to control the situation, what measures are still need to do. Another characteristic of classrooms where teachers emphasize inquiry-based learning is that you, as a student, take ownership of your learning. What does that mean? This means that you are also accountable to the results of your output. Another characteristic of inquiry-based learning is that teacher facilitates the gathering and presenting of information. In here, the information provided by teachers are or must be accurate and reliable. And since we are living in the digital age, another characteristic of inquiry-based learning is that technology are actually used to advance our learning. This means that technology has been utilized for the furtherance of knowledge and information. The teachers and students interact more frequently and more actively than during traditional teaching is also one of the characteristics of an inquiry-based learning. So when we talk about that, we mean that the knowledge will not be monopolized by your teachers, but your contribution to the learning process is very important to the learning for effective learning to take place. Okay, class, now that we're done discussing the characteristics of inquiry-based learning, let's move forward to the inquiry model this time. So what is this inquiry model all about? This actually talks about reflecting on the process of conducting the inquiry-based learning, that is. And for this one, there are 6 processes involved, and these are number 1, planning; number 2, retrieving; number 3, processing; number 4, creating; number 5, sharing; and the last one is evaluating. And let's talk about these processes one by one. Okay, class, in the planning stage, you are going to do the following. Number 1, you have to identify a topic area of your inquiry. You will also be identifying possible sources of information, and you identify your audience and your presentation format. Alright, the next stage is retrieving. In here, you have to develop an information material, locate and collect your sources, and select relevant information. In the processing stage, which is number 3 in the inquiry model, is that you are going to establish a focus for inquiry. You have to choose pertinent information. You record your information and make connections and inferences. In the creating stage, you will be organizing your information. You have to create a product, and you have to think about your audience as well. Alright, in the sharing stage, you need to communicate with your audience. And in here, you are also going to present new understanding. So when we talk about sharing, this is the time for you to be able to actually present the results of your findings. And it is customary for both the researchers, novice and seasoned, to present their work in a pool of experts. And the role of these experts are to scrutinize our work and give us suggestions, and through their comments and suggestions for us to improve our study. And the last stage in the inquiry model is all about evaluating. When we talk about evaluating, we need to evaluate now the product or the output of your study. You need to evaluate the inquiry process and the inquiry plan. And then what's the most important thing about evaluating is that you have to transfer new learning or transfer learning to new situations beyond school. Okay, class, now that we've done discussing the processes involved in the inquiry model, let's go over them again. So there are 6 processes involved in the inquiry model. What are these? Okay, number 1 is planning, retrieving, processing, creating, sharing, and evaluating. So class, research is important really when we know how to make sense of it, right? Now class, let's move on to your tasks number 1. And for this particular tasks, you are going to examine research studies conducted in different areas of specialization. What you would like, or what I would like you to do, is to reflect about them, go over them, and in your reflection, okay, be guided by the following questions. Okay, so number 1 would be, what appears to be the main objective of the research? Number 2, does the research have conclusion and recommendation? Number 3, why is the research conducted? And the last one is, how does the research study help you in your daily life? Okay, class, in the examination of those research studies that was given to you, you have to submit a reflection paper incorporating the guide questions that was given to you earlier. So until next time, see you again. Stay safe, stay home, and have a great day.